Shalom, Kahalo, Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kakodash, double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us his truth. And shalom and salutations to all the brothers up to the word in truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. All right, so this lesson is going to go into how close we are. That's what stays on my mind. How close we are as these prophecies continue to jump up. Close to what? Close to missiles flying. Okay? We know that the MOTB must come before the missiles fly. We know that Jacob's trouble has to be in full effect before the missiles fly. We know that World War III has to, be pretty much fully engaged. So whatever is going on in Russia and in Ukraine right now that's just a sideshow. Why? Because we know that the last battle, right, the Battle of Armageddon, we're going to get that. All right, that's where the final battle will take place in the Middle East. All right. So what's going on in the last few days in the Middle East? Or for that matter, what's going on in the land of Israel right now? Well, things are beginning to flare up. Ever since, what was it, 2 weeks ago? A week and a half ago, where they had a little skirmish in Syria, and that kind of reignited whatever is going on in Syria, which is the Valley of Yehoshaphat, which is the Middle East. All right, so we'll start right here in Jeremiah 49. Okay, we'll read this first. The judgment on Edom. Okay, this is what we're dealing with. Now we'll read Jeremiah 49 and 20 there. Therefore, hear this counsel of the Lord that he hath taken against Edom and his purposes, that he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. So who would be the least of the flock of the Edomites? It would be Amalek. Who is Amalek? The people that stole our land and appointed it into their hand. Okay? It goes right back to Edom too. Appointed my land. Who did that? Into their possession. Okay? Where that name Edom is going to come up again. Ezekiel 36. Right here. Ezekiel 36 and 5. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen and against all, who is this? Idumea. Who's that? Which have appointed my land into their possession. Who did that? Who appointed the Most High's land into their possession? All Idumea. Who's that? All Edom. Okay, and who's the least of the flock of Edom? The Amalekites. What did they do? They stole the land of Israel. Okay, all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart. There it is. The Bible's telling you what's going on in that land over there. Now let's go back, get a little more understanding on the least of the flock. Okay, not dragged away, but dragged out. They shall draw them out. No, not that one. Let's see, drag them off, drag them out. Where is it? Away. Salaki, bear with me. Where's draw them out? Draw them out and drag them away are two different things. So sometimes this goes out. Drag them out. All right. Therefore, let's read the LSV, the literal standard version. Therefore, hear the counsel of Yahweh that he has counseled concerning Edom. There it is again. And his plans that he has devised. Whose plan? The Most High's plans concerning the inhabitants of Teman, which was a city in ancient Edom. Do little ones of the flock not drag them out? That's what we're watching right now. Okay? Does he not make their habitations desolate? Do little ones of the flock not drag them out? All right, or draw them out? Who's the little ones of the flock? The Amalekites. All right, so with that, what did I want to do? I wanted to get that. Let's get Armageddon. Okay, let's get Armageddon. Okay. And he, this is Revelation 16 and 16, and he gathered them. Let's see. All right, let's get start right here, 14. Revelation 16 and 14. For they are the spirits of devils working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world to gather them together, to gather them to the battle. See that word, battle? Battle of that great day of the Most High Almighty. Behold, okay, and those three unclean spirits, right? D.C., Vatican, and what is that? City of London. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. And he, the Most High, gathered them together, okay, into a place in the Hebrew tongue. And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. Okay? That's the scripture, Armageddon. Now, gathered them together. Okay? Whenever you see that, right? That's talking, not whenever you see it, but a lot of times, all right? It's talking about this war. All right, so if we go here to Joel, let's go to Joel. And I will gather all nations, right? Joel 3 and 2 in the NLT. I will gather the armies of the world, where? Into the valley of Yehoshaphat. That's that battle. Okay? Let's get Armageddon here. All right, let's see. Where'd it go? Bear with me. Girl Sarah Cohen. Let's get Armageddon. In Wiki. I want the film. All right, here we go. Armageddon. Battle of Armageddon. Let's see. Look at all this shit. Is the prophesied location of a gathering of armies. See that? I will gather the armies of the world for a battle during the end times, which is variously interpreted as either a literal or symbolic location. The term is also used in a generic sense to refer to any end of the world scenario. Okay? The Mount of Megiddo in northern Israel is not actually a mountain, but a tell or a mound, right? Tel Dan, Tel Aviv, on which ancient forts were built to guard the Via Maris, an ancient trade route linking Egypt with the northern empires of Syria and Anatolia and Mesopotamia. Megiddo was a location of various ancient battles. Okay, ancient what? The Battle of Armageddon, including one in the 15th century BC, one in 609 BC. Thereby, modern Megiddo is a kibbutz in the Kishon River area. So it's an area. Okay. Armageddon. All right. The word Armageddon appears only once in the Greek New Testament, Revelation 16:16. The word is a Greek translation of the Hebrew word Harmageddon, not Harmageddo. Har means mountain or range of hills. Or troops. It means mountain of the troops. Shortened to Harar, meaning to loom up a mountain. Megiddo refers to a fortification made by King Ahab that dominated the plain of Jezreel. Its name means place of crowds. Okay, so that's what that means. It means mountain of the troops, Armageddon in the ancient Hebrew. So there's your Armageddon. The last battle is what it's referring to. Okay? It says, Armageddon is the prophesied location of the gathering of armies for a battle during the end times. The last battle. Where? In the valley of Yehoshaphat, God's judgment, where he's going to judge them in a great ambush. Okay, now where was I going with it? So, we got Armageddon, we got Yehoshaphat, did we? Right here. Jehoshaphat is Yehoshaphat. There will I judge them for harming my people. Where? In the valley of Yehoshaphat. And we can get out the maps and go. It's basically the greater Middle East, okay? Because when you look at a map of Israel today, it expanded all the way. In ancient Israel, during the time of the kings, it expanded way beyond whatever they have on a map today. So think of it in those terms. So with that, let's look at some very recent news, okay, as to what is going on over there. Let's start right here. Escalating violence in what? Middle East. Rocket launches, mosque raids. Good morning, America. Let's check this out. This is just a little update as to how close we are to the Battle of Armageddon, right? Not Eastern Europe and Ukraine and all of that, which there's a bunch of Edomites involved in that, but how close are we to the final battle before Yahushua and the angels get involved?
Escalating violence in the Middle East.
Okay, let's get this from the top. All right, this is ABC News 3 hours ago. Escalating violence in the Middle East, rocket launches, mosque raids, GMA. All right, good morning, America. All right, let's let this idiot, forget his name. Is his name Emmanuel? All right, here we go.
Escalating violence in the Middle East. Overnight, Israel's military targeted Lebanon and the Gaza Strip following a rocket barrage on Israel. Matt Gutman is live on the scene. Good morning, Matt.
And let me say this real quick, okay? What is different? Okay, oh, we've seen that before. See, an idiot, a doo-doo punk-ass chump will jump up and say, well, we see that happens all the time. That happens all the time. They fire their rockets and they throw stones and sticks, and then Israel comes back and murders a bunch of, yeah. But what's different now? What's the difference between now and then? I'll tell you what the difference is. Saudi Arabia has joined with Iran. Iran has joined with China and Russia. Okay? And all those Arab states, all surrounding Israel, okay? Guess what? Everything's different now. All right? When you understand that the petrodollar is no more, and all these skirmishes and what America had set up in the Middle East was a bunch of people fighting, a bunch of Arabs and everybody in the region fighting with each other. Now they're all coming together. What does that mean? Now what do these attacks mean? Okay, it means that they're going to go from these little rockets, okay? They're going to go from these tiny rockets that don't do anything to cruise missiles, okay? This is the Iron Dome shooting down little Estes and Century model rockets that you get at the hobby shop, right? That really can't do anything. They're really wasting your Iron Dome on something that is not even going to explode when it hits the ground. It's going to go from that to real cruise missiles, and then from there to actual tactical nuclear weapons. How about that? So, escalating violence, look at this. See the language? Escalating violence where? In the valley of Yehoshaphat. Here's how close we are. See, everything's different now that the oil being traded, right, is not under the dollar. And these Arab states, and along with the Persians, because the Persians aren't Arabs, right? They're all coming together right now. So all of this means something completely different today. You have to consider World War III is fomenting, the Most High is gathering the troops. Where? In the Middle East. So this is all different today.
Scene, good morning, Matt.
Hey, good morning, George. What we are in the midst of right now is a multi-front escalation of violence. It's in Lebanon, it's in Gaza, just over there. Lots of the rockets were intercepted from Gaza coming into Israel by that Iron Dome battery you see behind me. But there have also been clashes on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. And just
on the Temple Mount, they're fighting, right? They divided up the Most High's land. Who divided up the Most High's land? Whoever's over there fighting over the Temple Mount right now. Okay? And we'll get that. So everything is coming together right now. Not in Europe, not in Russia and Ukraine. Right here in the Most High's land. They're fighting in the Most High's land, over the Most High's land. It don't belong to either one of them.
morning in the West Bank, 2 Israeli women shot and killed, a third critically wounded. Overnight, Israeli jets and Palestinian militants trading fire in Gaza and Lebanon as violence escalated.
Did you hear that? Overnight, Israeli jets and Palestinians with rocks and sticks. Did you hear that? All of that is about to change. The playing field is going to be leveled, okay? Meaning those rocks and sticks are going to turn into cruise missiles and jets as well. It's going to escalate, okay? It's going to be evened out.
As violence escalated this week from fisticuffs in Jerusalem's Temple Mount to one of the heaviest barrages of fire in years. And this morning, Israel saying Palestinian militants killed 2 Israeli women, critically wounding a third in a shooting attack in the West Bank. Earlier Friday, Israel's military saying it launched multiple retaliatory strikes against Palestinian militant group Hamas's installations in southern Lebanon, another raid targeting the Gaza Strip, lighting up the night sky there. Israel's Air Force will...
Now notice this little Brady Bunch type thing right here. All right, we're going to see that on a whole different broadcast. Meaning this is pretty much propaganda. All right, things that they want you to believe that may or may not be true.
Seeing this video showing missiles hitting sites that they say also belong to the group. Israel's sorties in Gaza and Lebanon followed an unusually heavy barrage of rockets from Lebanon streaking across the sky into northern Israel on Thursday. Israel's Iron Dome defense system intercepting many of the missiles, though at least 5 of them made it through, this one hitting a bank and setting up that thick plume of smoke. And early this morning, dozens of additional rockets fired from Gaza, targeting southern Israel. In all, Israel says Palestinian militants launched about 80 rockets in the past 24 hours. Tension in the region soared after violent clashes during Ramadan at the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem, one of Islam's holiest sites. Now, one of the main peacekeeping UN agencies here on the ground has voiced concern about further escalation, but it has said it does not see that Israel or the Palestinian militant groups have an appetite for that right now. The wrench in that could be the shooting attack this morning in the West Bank that could jeopardize the efforts at de-escalation, especially since it comes at such a particularly fraught time in Jerusalem. This is the first time in 30 years that Ramadan, Passover, and Easter all coincide.
So the Most High is setting it up. He's going to make this happen. Okay? Making all them so-called holidays fall on the same date. Okay, that's one. Let's get another. Let's see. Let's see. We'll get Skeletor here at 8. And then we'll end with, that's CBS too. Okay. So let's see what Skeletor's talking about here. Let me set this up. Bear with me for a moment. About 8, right? Start about right here and here.
That we want.
Okay, so this is major warning, full spectrum survival, 1 hour. So if you see, okay, these things are happening like now. The previous video was like, what, 3 hours? That was the news 3 hours ago. This is 1 hour ago. He's reporting on things that are happening today. Okay? Let's see where he's at. Take it away, Skeletor.
Be removed from us. Now, what's going to happen next? That's where military strategists say you're going to have a new Middle Eastern war. They say Saudi Arabia's move to join the SCO is a break from relationship status with the USA. And there's
now, what he's describing is what I just tried to say. The game changer in the Middle East, okay, is not like it was 2 weeks ago. All right? Negotiations and battle lines have been drawn, and new alliances have been made. So what all this rocket fire and fighting over the Temple Mount and all of that, it means something entirely different now, because it's not one side with jets and nukes and the other side with sticks and stones. Now everybody's going to have enough firepower to kill each other over there. All right? And that's, everything is going to go from, oh, Russia's fighting against the Ukraine. It's going to go right to the Middle East. Okay? And it's not going to slow down. It's going to spiral completely out of control. And this is what we call the least of the flock. See, Israel, those people in Israel right now, they are proud as hell. Because for years they've been able to dominate the region with all that firepower. Well, guess what? What is it going to be like when the playing field is leveled and everybody has nukes and jets? All right? How is it going to be then? It's going to be a powder keg.
doubt that the Saudi Arabian relationship with the U.S. is no longer as important or strategic for the country as it once was. They say this depends on what happens next, and you're going to start to see a big move take place here soon. Meanwhile, you have major factions of the 8-year conflict in Yemen being welcomed in a new Iran and Saudi Arabian deal. China is facilitating this role in this deal, and they're basically making it so Saudi Arabia has new friends away from America.
Now, what he just said, Saudi Arabia, Middle East, Yemen, Middle East, Lebanon, Middle East, all of these countries were being dominated, right, by United States and Israel, or the Israelis over there. And they didn't have anything to fight back with. Now, China, what do you think China is going to do? What is Iran going to be able to do now? Here Hamas, here Hezbollah. Here's some weapons that you can fight back with. Not just no little rockets. Here's some missiles. Here's some Predator drones. You understand? This thing is about to get buck-ass wild. Where? where the last battle is about to take place. So the least of the flock, which is the Amalekites, the ones that call themselves Israelis, they're drawing everybody into the Middle East with their actions that they've been perpetrating for years now and gone uncontested. Well, here's the contest.
The U.S. Treasury Secretary Yellen has said, quote, "I'm worried about China's activities that they are engaged in." You see, these politicians and government leaders and policy leaders, they all know what direction this is taking. They are in their last grasp of control and economic superiority. Now, as this happens, you and me, the employees of the state, so to say, because we work all day, we give them our tax money on.
Okay, so that's all I need from Skeletor. All right, now we're going to move to this guy that I don't agree with, but we got to use his reporting here. This New York prepper. See what he says.
Iranian side.
Okay, right now he's
At Avocado.
dealing with Russia. Okay, so this is New York prepper. Two hours ago. Okay, red alert. Israel strikes Lebanon overnight. See, Israel ain't gonna. They're gonna think twice when Lebanon is supplied with defensive measures and offensive measures by China, Russia, by Iran, okay, by Saudi Arabia. All right, Israel ain't gonna just draw them out like they're doing no more. It will already be done. They're doing it right now. How badly do you think those Palestinians want to be able to fight back with equal power? All right. Israel strikes Lebanon overnight. All right. We won't go into Belarus. That's a different front. The one we're looking for, right? Because they don't mention well, Russia's going to be fighting against their own people in the Ukraine. What it does say is that Russia is going to regain those provinces, right? Those countries that broke off during the dissolution of the Soviet Union. They're going to bring those back together, and we're watching that now. We're watching Ukraine fail and be absorbed back into the new Soviet Union. It does say that, but that's not where the last battle is going to be. The last battle is dealing with this right here. So let's let this guy tell me. See. Going back to 3. And let's let this guy, New York prepper, say his piece. Go ahead.
Showing the Israeli Iron Dome.
Salaki, let me go back just to here.
Say hi to Thrive.
And the devil's got to try to throw it out. Bear with me. All right. So we're watching the beginning of the end as far as World War III. All right. Because the Battle of Armageddon in the Valley of Yehoshaphat is the last deal. All right. Damn, look at this devil. Here we go.
Is for there to be 4 of them in the air at the same time. And so I want to update you on Israel. Here we have some video footage showing the Israeli Iron Dome in action. That's the Israeli rocket defense system or missile defense system. So Israel launched strikes again at Gaza. And apparently they launched 6 missiles from 2 F-35s, and they struck 2 Hamas military facilities in southern Lebanon.
Now, Gaza is in Israel proper. So they're basically fighting among themselves in Israel over land that doesn't belong to either one of them. Okay, and Lebanon is on the border, so.
Retaliation for the rocket attack on northern Israel. Looks like Israel is targeting southern Lebanon massive amounts of strikes on southern Lebanon. And Israel is blaming the Lebanese government, saying the Lebanese government is responsible for any attacks emanating from its territory. So it looks like they hit Hamas pretty hard. So here we have a video of these Iron Dome missile interceptors working. Hamas launched a few dozen more rockets. So basically, another volley of rockets towards Israel at the same time that Israel was launching these airstrikes. So let me play this video for you. So this is the Israeli Iron Dome interceptor here. Pretty crazy. This person filming basically had front row seats to see this Iron Dome in action. I mean, it basically intercepted these rockets right above their head. I mean, that's pretty rare to be in that position. I mean, this is like perfect filming of seeing how these interceptors get launched, and then they get take out the rocket. There they are getting launched, and then they take out the rockets. Pretty crazy. And then over here they smash into the rockets, you can see. So that is pretty cool. And then here we have some more footage showing it's already morning time in Israel here, and you can see the Iron Dome intercepted some rockets. So this is pretty crazy, guys. All of this happening on Good Friday and the first day of Passover. This is biblical, okay? This is...
You bet it is. Okay. This is the least of the flock, drawing them out. Drawing them out where? In the Middle East. Everything's different now. Okay. Petrodollar gone. New alliances. What does it mean, new alliances? It means they have to protect these countries, and these countries need weapons, right?
Biblical. This attack on Israel on the first day of Passover and now extending into the Easter weekend. I mean, this is it's just crazy, guys. Absolutely crazy. Here's a video showing some Hamas or Palestinian rockets being launched towards Israel. You can see these vapor trails from when they got launched, okay? So, pretty crazy situation.
Okay, good enough. All right, one more. I know I'm going long on this, but this is very important. When you understand the magnitude, this isn't the same uneven battle that was going on before the dollar collapse. Okay, everything's different now. Now this is more CBS, so they're going to show the same thing. Let me see.
Now to a story breaking overnight. Israeli warplanes have bombed targets in Lebanon and Gaza after a wave of rocket attacks against Israel. It is the most serious flare-up of violence along the Israel-Lebanon border in nearly 20 years.
That's significant, okay? 20 years ago, right, this new alliance in the Middle East, right, basically the Israelis are surrounded. They're surrounded by what? Arabs and Persians, okay? Plus they got China and Russia on their side, superpowers, right? in the middle of what? World War III. You think they're not going to supply them with the necessary munitions that they need to be able to fight and win? What do we see here?
Ian Lee is tracking the latest developments from London. Ian, good morning.
Good morning, Vlad. Tensions are always high around the holidays in the Holy Land, and right now it's Ramadan, Passover, and Easter. It's a volatile combination, and the situation risks growing out of control.
You damn right. It's about to grow out of control. By the hand of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right? Nobody can stop it.
Overnight, Israeli warplanes hit Gaza and Lebanon. Israel says the strikes were in retaliation for dozens of rockets fired by Hamas. This marks the biggest barrage by militants from Israel's northern neighbor in 17 years. To the south, in Gaza, loud explosions.
And that's what this means. What does this strike or this attack mean? Right? In 17, it means, guess who's on our side now? Guess what? We got backing from China, Russia, Iran. What you gonna do? You gonna do that shit that you normally do? You gonna fly your planes over and drop bombs and murder and kill and do that? Okay, because guess what? Guess what's gonna come now? All you doing is pushing that date forward. Date for what? The Battle of Armageddon.
To the south, in Gaza, loud explosions rocked the strip as Israel says it targeted tunnels and weapons manufacturing sites. This Palestinian resident says, "We heard a loud blast, then another that shook our house and shattered our windows." Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called for calm at a cabinet meeting Thursday night and added, "We will strike our enemies and they will pay the price for any act of aggression." As dawn revealed deep craters and broken buildings, the cycle of violence continued. Gaza militants fired another volley of rockets. Israel says its Iron Dome missile defense system intercepted many of them. This volatile situation erupted earlier in the week after Israeli police raided Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem. Palestinians say they were praying peacefully. Israeli authorities say it was a response to rioting. And just a couple hours ago, the Israeli military responded to a car being shot at in the West Bank. 2 Israelis were killed and another is in serious condition in what's being described as a terrorist attack. This sort of violence that we're seeing has a way of escalating into becoming a full-blown conflict.
It will. Look at this again. What is this? They're fighting over, this is in Israel. I believe it's Al-Aqsa. They're fighting over land that doesn't even belong to them. Let's get that in the scriptures. Okay? Right here. Okay? It says, Joel 3:2, I will also gather all nations and bring them down in the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there. For my people and my heritage, Israel, you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, Speckled Bird, whom they, the people that are there, have scattered among the nations, scattered my people, and did what? Parted my land. What? Divided up my land. Who did that? Whoever's there right now. All right? You're fighting, right, over land that doesn't belong to you. Well, this is Palestina. Oh, it is? Okay, well, who are the Palestinians? The ancient name for Palestine is Philistine. The Philistines are the sons of Ham, the so-called Africans. So you Arabs, you sons of Ishmael, right? You are indeed Shemitic people. You're the sons of Shem. You're not the sons of Ham. You're not the Palestinians, okay? You're Shemitic, you're Ishmaelites. You're the sons of Ishmael, the sons of Shem. And then you Edomites, right? You Amalekites, which are the sons of Esau, you're Shemitic too. Abraham, Isaac, and Esau, not Jacob, Esau. So you're fighting over land that doesn't belong to you. Guess what? We know who everybody is, right? There is no end to all of the people. You have your family lineage, and it doesn't go back to these buildings. All right? You took this land, you appointed it into your hand under the 1948 Balfour Declaration that was set up in World War I. You made it come to fruition in 48, where you took the land. It don't belong to you. It don't belong to you Ishmaelites calling yourself Palestinians. Okay, that's not your identity. You're not the Palestinians. You're not the Philistines. Those are the sons of Ham. Those are the Africans. Okay? Neither is this your land, but what do we have? You divided up the Most High's land among yourselves, and you're still fighting over it right now. Okay? So we know what's going on over there. Now, back to this. The Most High is gathering what? The armies of the world into that region. Why? Because he's going to judge them. What does it mean to judge them? How is he going to judge them? Well, let's find out. He's going to use his right hand. What is God's right hand? It's the one you call Jesus. His name is Yahweh Shai. He's going to use his right hand to judge you, to make war and judge. Okay? The rider on the white horse, it says. Revelation 19:11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. And in righteousness doth he what? Judge. God said he's going to do what? He's going to judge them and make war. How's he going to judge them and make war? With his son sitting on that white horse. Okay? He did what? He sat upon what? That white horse. And who was with him? And the armies, 19 and 14. And the armies which were with him, Salakia, armies which were in heaven followed him upon what? White horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. What does that mean? Okay. Jump down to 19. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies, where? In the valley of Yahweh Shabbat, gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. What is going on here? Well, they were gathered together where? In the Middle East, all fighting against each other, right? The armies of the world, the armies of the earth, right? In World War III. And then something happened, right? Then out of the fourth dimension comes what? Them white horses. Them white horses came out of the fourth dimension, and then the real battle was on. Okay? And that's what we're waiting for. See these white horses? See this white horse right here? Who's in there? Let's find out. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, that. And he that sat upon him, right, was called Faithful and True. Who's in there? That's the one you ignorantly called Jesus. His name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shai. All right? I know this is too deep for a lot of you, but the truth is the truth. And we're going to watch this happen. We're looking forward to it, right? And it's getting closer by the day. Whatever's going on in the Middle East right now is just going to overtake. Oh, Russia's fighting against the Ukraine. No, they're not. Wait until we get to this stage of the war. Okay? We get to this stage. All right? Let's bring it out real quick. And there was war in heaven. Revelation 12 and 7. And there was war in heaven. That's not heaven. There's the war in heaven. Right there. Michael and his angels, this Michael and his angels, fought against the dragon. This is the dragon. Let's get this one. There's the dragon. It's Michael and his angels. Fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. His blue angels. See the blue angels right there? That's the devil. That's the dragon, the devil, Satan, right? The serpent and his blue angel. This is Michael and his angels, Yahushua, and the angels of God, right? And here's the story. Here's how the story goes down. And there was a war in the sky. In the sky, right? Right there. That says heaven. It says Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. This is it right there. And the dragon fought and his blue angel. It doesn't say blue, right? I'm giving you a clue. And prevailed not. Who prevailed not? The dragon and his angels. They prevailed not. They got that ass whooped. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. They got shot out of the sky. It says heaven. It says heaven there. World English Bible. There was war in the sky. New Heart. There was war in the sky. In this level of heaven right here. Michael and his angels made war on the serpent. Michael and his angels made war on the devil. The serpent and his angels made war. Then what happened? Then what happened? And the great dragon, this guy, was cast out. Out of what? Out of heaven. The sky got shot down. That old, what? Serpent, old serpent. Where can we find the old serpent? In Genesis. Genesis 3. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. That old serpent called the devil and Satan. Let's count them up. 1, Satan. 2, the devil. 3, the old serpent. And the great dragon. 1, 2, 3, 4, all talking about these guys, the Edomites. See that? See, this is encoded. It's encoded. All right? These words, here's a picture of these words right here. All right? So when you see the devil, when you see Satan, the serpent, the dragon, talking about these guys, the Edomites, in the Bible. Okay? Trying to fight against God, the Son of God, the archangels, the angels of God on the right-hand side. All right, so we're going to end it right there. All right, things are heating up in the Middle East. All right, and it's beautiful. This is beautiful. Why? Because we're that much closer to the kingdom of heaven. All right, where nobody will be able to overcome the chariots of Israel. God and the angels. They're going to set up right here, set up shop right here on the earth, and every knee shall bow. All right? So shout out to the elect of Israel, the hopeful elect. You brothers and few sisters, with that, we're going to say shalom.